We live in a world that often confuses kindness with weakness and mercy with enabling. But make no mistake, there are actions that demand a response so clear and unwavering that mercy becomes a luxury we cannot afford. When people choose to hurt, betray, or harm others, they step into a space where consequences aren't just deserved, they are necessary. It's not about vengeance, it's about accountability. Here's why they deserve the full weight of their actions, and why showing mercy now would only be a betrayal to those who have suffered. Every action we take is a window into who we really are, beyond the masks, the excuses, and the stories we tell ourselves and others. When someone makes a choice, especially one that causes harm, it's not a one-off mistake or a random slip. It's a loud, clear expression of their values, their priorities, and their character. You can't separate the deed from the doer. The way people behave consistently shines a spotlight on what's inside them. Whether it's empathy or cruelty, courage or cowardice, honesty or deceit, to ignore the consequences of those actions is to turn a blind eye to the truth staring us in the face. It's a refusal to acknowledge the impact not only on the victims, but on the entire fabric of trust and respect that holds relationships and communities together. When we choose to overlook or minimize the consequences, we choose denial over reality. We choose comfort over courage. This denial does a profound disservice not just to those who have been wronged, but to the wrongdoer themselves. Because without facing the truth of their actions and the full weight of consequences, there is no space for real reflection or change. It's like living in a house built on sand, pretending everything is solid while the foundation crumbles underneath. Consequences are not punishment for punishment's sake. They are the mirror that forces us to see who we are, to own it, and to decide if we want to be better. Ignoring consequences is a form of self-deception, a willful blindness that keeps us trapped in cycles of harm. If we want honesty, integrity, and genuine transformation, we must honor the truth that actions reveal. Denying consequences only erodes trust, damages relationships, and invites more pain. Reality demands accountability, no matter how uncomfortable or difficult that may be. Would you like me to do the same for the other points? There's a common misconception that mercy means letting someone off the hook, that it's a soft, gentle gesture meant to spare feelings or avoid conflict. But mercy that ignores accountability isn't mercy at all. It's a dangerous form of enabling. It's like handing a weapon to someone who has already shown they don't know how to handle it responsibly, then pretending everything will be fine. And we offer mercy without holding someone accountable for their actions. We remove the natural and necessary barriers that stop harm from continuing. We create a vacuum where consequences should be, and into that vacuum rush denial, entitlement, and a refusal to change. The message sent in that silence or in that forgiveness without conditions is clear. You can keep doing what you're doing and there will be no price to pay. And this is not hypothetical. History and everyday life are full of examples where unchecked behavior leads to repeated offenses, escalating damage, and widespread suffering. People who never face the repercussions of their choices rarely stop to ask themselves why their behavior is destructive, because nothing forces them to. Without accountability, there is no pressure to reflect, no incentive to take responsibility, and no real opportunity to grow. True mercy demands courage. It means being willing to say, I see what you've done, and you must face the consequences. Mercy without accountability is a false mercy, a mercy that ultimately fails everyone involved. It betrays the victims by dismissing their pain and their need for justice. It betrays the community by allowing toxic patterns to persist unchecked. And most importantly, it betrays the wrongdoer by robbing them of the Accountability is the backbone of transformation. It is the uncomfortable but vital moment when someone is forced to confront their reality, acknowledge their impact, and make a choice. Continue down the same destructive path or step into responsibility and growth. Without this, mercy is a hollow gesture, a short-sighted relief that simply delays inevitable consequences and deeper harm. Showing mercy, then, is not about sparing someone from the natural consequences of their actions. It's about being brave enough to demand those consequences as a necessary step toward healing and change. Mercy and accountability are not opposites, they are partners. And when one is missing, the cycle of harm continues. Growth is not a comfortable process. It never has been, and it never will be. The truth is, transformation demands that we lean into discomfort, face hard truths, and reckon with the consequences of our actions, ours and others. If we want to become better, stronger, more honest versions of ourselves, there is no shortcut around this reality. Consequences are not punishments designed to break us down. They are the vital signals that alert us to where we have gone wrong and where we must change. They are the uncomfortable but necessary checkpoints on the path of growth. When consequences hit, they shake us out of complacency and force us to confront the real impact of what we've done. This confrontation is painful because it strips away our defenses, our justifications, and our carefully constructed narratives. But it is exactly this stripping away that clears the ground for real learning. Without consequences, growth becomes a hollow illusion. People can talk about change all they want, but without facing the discomfort of accountability, words are just empty promises. Real growth requires that moment of reckoning, when the easy path is closed off and the only way forward is through honesty, responsibility, and a willingness to bear the discomfort of change. Discomfort is the crucible where growth is forged. It's in those moments of pain, embarrassment, or shame when we are confronted with the fallout of our actions that true transformation happens. This discomfort challenges us to reflect deeply, to question old patterns, and to summon the courage to act differently next time. It demands vulnerability, humility, and resilience, all of which are the foundation stones of authentic growth. It's important to recognize that this kind of growth is never instantaneous or easy. It's a process, often slow and grueling, that requires persistence and strength. It requires showing up again and again, willing to face the consequences, absorb the lessons, and try again. And sometimes it means accepting that setbacks will happen, but the commitment to growth means we keep moving forward. Avoiding consequences or hoping they will just go away only stalls growth. It leaves wounds untreated and lessons unlearned. It traps people in cycles of repetition because without discomfort to interrupt destructive patterns, nothing forces us to change. We become stuck, unable to move forward, unable to evolve. So when consequences come, and they always do, we must not turn away. Instead, we must embrace them as the essential, though difficult, gatekeepers to growth. To grow is to be brave enough to stand in discomfort, to take ownership of our mistakes, and to let those consequences shape us into better, wiser, and more accountable human beings. There is no growth without discomfort, period. One of the greatest responsibilities we carry as human beings is to stand up for those who have been hurt, betrayed, or wronged. Protecting the vulnerable isn't a passive act or a polite suggestion. It is a fierce, deliberate, and sometimes ruthless commitment to justice. It demands strength like a shield and boundaries like walls that cannot be breached. And when someone causes harm, the damage often runs deep and ripples far beyond the initial moment. Those harmed don't just suffer physically or emotionally, they suffer the erosion of trust, the loss of safety, and the shattering of their sense of worth. To protect them means more than words of sympathy or hollow promises of change. It means creating a space where their pain is honored, their voice is heard, and their safety is non-negotiable. Strength is required because protection is not always popular or easy. It often means confronting uncomfortable truths and standing up to powerful forces that would rather sweep harm under the rug. It means saying no when others want to look the other way. It means standing firm in the face of pressure, intimidation, or backlash. This strength is not born of anger or revenge. It is born of deep care, unwavering conviction, and the knowledge that justice for the harmed is sacred. Firm boundaries are the other side of this coin. Boundaries are not walls built out of fear or hatred. They are clear lines drawn in defense of dignity and respect. They say, this behavior will not be tolerated. This pain will not be ignored. Without boundaries, protection becomes wishful thinking. Harmful patterns are allowed to repeat, victims remain vulnerable, and healing remains out of reach. Establishing and enforcing boundaries can be painful and complicated. It often means cutting ties, limiting. Accountability is often misunderstood or misrepresented. It is not about retaliation, anger, or personal vendettas. It is not about seeking to punish out of hatred or to cause suffering in response to suffering. True accountability is a principled commitment to justice and integrity, a steadfast refusal to let harmful actions go unanswered, but done with fairness and purpose rather than cruelty or malice. Justice is the foundation upon which healthy relationships, communities, and societies are built. It requires that when someone causes harm, there is a measured, honest response that acknowledges the wrongdoing, recognizes the pain inflicted, and enforces appropriate consequences. This response must be rooted in fairness, impartiality, and respect for truth. Accountability is that response. It is the system that keeps order and ensures that actions have consequences aligned with the gravity of the behavior. Integrity is the internal compass that guides accountability. It means acting consistently with values, honesty, respect, responsibility, even when it is difficult. Holding someone accountable from a place of integrity means resisting the urge to let emotions like anger or desire for revenge dictate the response. Instead, it means being clear-eyed and disciplined, ensuring that consequences serve the greater good and promote healing rather than escalating conflict. Revenge, by contrast, is personal, reactive, and destructive. It's fueled by bitterness and the need to get even. Revenge often mirrors the harm done, perpetuating cycles of pain and retaliation. It rarely leads to resolution or growth. Instead, it fractures trust, deepens wounds, and creates new enemies. Revenge is about satisfying personal grievances, not about justice or repair. Accountability recognizes this distinction. It demands that we separate our personal feelings from the need for a fair and just outcome. It requires us to be brave enough to face the truth, no matter how uncomfortable, and to act in ways that restore balance rather than deepen division. Moreover, accountability honors the dignity of everyone involved, including the person who caused harm. It provides a clear path to restoration by identifying the wrong, acknowledging the harm, and setting conditions for making amends. This path cannot exist without honest consequences, but it also cannot exist without fairness and respect. When done well, accountability opens the door to transformation, reconciliation, and trust rebuilding. In this way, accountability is a force for healing and strength, not weakness or vengeance. It reminds us that justice and integrity are not abstract ideals, but living principles that require courage to uphold. It insists that we do not let wrongdoing be ignored or excused, but that we do so without losing our humanity in the process. To hold someone accountable is to say, your actions have meaning and impact, you must face the truth of what you have done. But it is also to say, we believe in fairness, in restoration, and in the possibility of change. This balance is difficult but essential. It preserves the moral fabric of our relationships and communities, protects the vulnerable, and honors the truth. Without accountability grounded in justice and integrity, we risk descending into chaos where personal vendettas rule, trust dissolves, and cycles of harm repeat endlessly. Accountability is the steady hand that guides us back to fairness, respect, and the hope for a better future. Mercy is often seen as a virtue, a beautiful act of compassion that spares someone from suffering. It's held up as the ultimate expression of kindness, the gentle hand that lifts rather than strikes. But mercy that is disconnected from justice is not mercy at all. Instead, it is a dangerous illusion that can cause far more harm than good. True mercy is not about ignoring wrongs or sweeping harm under the rug to avoid discomfort. It's not about giving a free passage to those who have caused pain, nor is it about pretending that consequences don't matter. Mercy without justice is a mercy that enables, a mercy that excuses, a mercy that betrays the very principles of fairness and accountability it claims to uphold. Justice is the foundation upon which true mercy stands. It ensures that mercy is given with eyes wide open, fully aware of the wrongdoing, the damage done, and the needs of those harmed. When mercy is rooted in justice, it becomes a powerful force that not only offers forgiveness, but also demands responsibility. It says, yes, you are seen and heard, but you must also face the consequences of your actions. Only then can healing truly begin. Without justice, mercy becomes reckless and harmful. It sends the wrong message that harmful behavior is tolerable, that there are no limits to what one can do without repercussion. This kind of mercy protects the wrongdoer at the expense of the victim. It dismisses pain and suffering and erodes trust. It invites repeated offenses and perpetuates cycles of harm because there are no real boundaries or consequences. Think about the ripple effects. When mercy lacks justice, those who have been hurt feel abandoned and silenced. Their pain is minimized or erased and their sense of safety shattered. They are left to wonder if their suffering even matters. This is not mercy. It's cruelty disguised as kindness. True mercy demands a hard, honest look at the reality of the situation. It requires courage to hold people accountable, to say no when behavior crosses the line, and to set firm boundaries that protect everyone's dignity. This kind of mercy is not easy. It is uncomfortable and sometimes painful. But it is also deeply healing and transformative. Mercy rooted in justice restores balance. It acknowledges wrongdoing and honors the experience of those harmed, while also opening the door for growth, change, and reconciliation. It offers a way forward that neither ignores the past nor condemns the person forever. It is an act of both strength and compassion, a refusal to accept harm as inevitable, coupled with a willingness to believe in the possibility of better. When we confuse mercy without justice, we lose sight of what mercy truly means. Mercy is not weakness. It is not turning a blind eye or letting harm go unchecked. True mercy is fierce and fair. It is rooted in integrity and respect. It holds the wrongdoer accountable, but also offers a chance for redemption. So if mercy is given without justice, it does more harm than good. It enables harm to continue, silences victims, and undermines the very fabric of trust and community. True mercy, by contrast, is justice's companion. It strengthens justice, protects the vulnerable, and creates the conditions necessary for genuine healing. Mercy that is not rooted in justice is mercy that betrays everyone involved. But mercy grounded in justice, that is mercy that saves, that transforms, that restores. In the end, standing firm in the face of wrongdoing is not about cruelty or vengeance. It's about truth, justice, and respect. Those who cause harm must face the consequences of their actions without mercy that enables or excuses. Accountability is not a weapon of hatred. It is the backbone of integrity and healing. Protecting those harmed demands unwavering strength and clear boundaries, because true safety can only grow where justice is upheld. Mercy without justice is no mercy at all. It becomes a betrayal of those who have suffered, a license for harm to continue unchecked. But when mercy is anchored in justice, it becomes a powerful force for restoration and hope. It demands responsibility, honors the pain, and opens the door to genuine transformation. We owe it to ourselves and to one another to show no mercy for injustice, no mercy for cruelty, because only then do we create a world where accountability is real, integrity is lived, and healing is possible. The choice is clear: protect the vulnerable, hold the harmful accountable, and never confuse true mercy with weakness. This is the hard, unflinching path toward justice and real change. Show no mercy for injustice, because that is how we honor the truth and build a better future.